Chicks are 8 weeks old today, and it's breakfast time. They're very serious about eating right now. There's Nugget. And there's Mr. Knightley right in the middle. He's very busy. There he is. They're getting big. Do a garden tour here in just a little bit, but first I wanted to take a look at all the plant starts. It's finally gotten warm enough outside that they've been out every day and spent the night outside last night. But everything's growing really well, and I am anxious to get them in the ground. Although I'm not sure that'll happen for another week or so. Oh, man overboard. The dog was wagging his tail around this shelf last night. These tomato plants are all going to a new home today. Take a look real quick at the salad bar garden. The radishes are coming along here, getting some true leaves finally, so that's exciting. And the tatsoi that I showed last week is sprouted back there. And the salad greens are filling in. I don't know if you remember the salad mix I had going in this box, but I decided to spread it out because it was getting pretty crowded. I've actually been snacking from this lettuce tray here, but they are big enough now that I can actually harvest some of the bigger leaves and make a little salad. Today is Tuesday, April 7th. It's been a little over a week since I've done the garden tour, but I decided to do Tuesdays instead of Saturdays because the chickens turn another week older on Tuesdays, and so I can cover both at one time. They are 8 weeks old today and loving life. They're getting big. But let's go take a look at the garden. Just start here on this end with my brassicas. I said last time that I'd had to restart almost everything from seed because none of the transplants made it, but they are doing well now. Back on the other side of the trellis is my snap peas, and they are really starting to come up. Although I planted 8 plants and only 4 came up, so I have some more started inside. But up here's my broccoli, and they're growing well. Oh, I see a weed. These are the kohlrabi that I had to restart because they did not take the transplant well, but they are all coming up and getting started. That one's about the farthest along. Right there. And then I have some Yodfa broccoli starts back here, which is a Chinese broccoli. It's kind of like broccolini or broccoli rabe. The lettuces for head lettuce are doing really well. And up here, where I had to reseed all my kale, try to get out of the light so you can see it better, there are starts coming up. So they're going to get a later start than I wanted, but they are coming. Okay, this other front bed. I think I had these done last time, but I had to plant out my nasturtiums because they were getting huge and root bound, and I ended up having to plant them out. There's the plants all the way along the front here. Ended up having to plant them out in a windstorm, so I had them covered for a few days, but they've done well. They seem to be handling everything okay. Had a few leaves like this that got some either windburn or sunburn, but I've just been pulling those off and feeding them to the chickens, and the plants seem to be handling everything okay. Here in the middle is where I had my cabbage. Again, most of them I had to restart, but they're coming along fine. That one back there, that's the one that made it through the transplant, the only one, but it's doing good. Got some more started there. This is a cabbage I kind of threw at the last minute, a different variety, and it's coming up finally. This purple of Sicily cauliflower seems to be doing really well, growing really well. The amazing cauliflower that all died inside, no, it didn't, I'm sorry, it died in transplant. It's coming up, but it just seems to be a weaker variety. I don't know why. It was supposed to be a really easy to grow strong variety, but it doesn't seem to like it here. I do finally have some carrot sprouts. I don't know if you can see them or not. Little tiny carrot sprouts. They are coming up along here. There's not very many in this section, but as we get down to the other end, there's quite a few more to see on this end. Again, they're small, so they're kind of hard to see in the mulch, but they are coming up. The Brussels sprouts are coming along. And in front of the Brussels sprouts, I had planted, I just threw in a couple of Purple Lady Bok Choy seeds, and they have sprouted, so that's good. And the tatsoi seeds over here are growing as well. So this one's kind of been blown over in the mulch, but it's there. I got a wind chime from Amazon. That makes me happy. I was nervous because I was afraid it would make hideous sounds, but it sounds really nice. Here on this end, I've got my beets, and they are finally coming up where you can see them well. The golden beets are here on this end. A couple rows of those. And then these here are Detroit beets. They don't seem to be coming up as well. Those seeds I got in the seed swap, so I don't know if maybe they just weren't as viable, but there are a few coming up. And then these beets here are called cylindra beets. They're supposed to grow cylindrically, so they're a little longer, but they're coming up as well. You can see here along this front side of the trellis, I planted my onions, and they are all along the back of the trellis there, since they are going to be in the ground for a while and they don't take up a lot of space. I decided to stick them back there. And then here is my turnips, and you can see them coming up. I've got two different varieties. This end is the Chagoin turnip, which is a white turnip, and then these two rows are the purple top traditional turnips. And then I only had one pea plant, you can see it on the other side of the trellis there, come up. These are my shelling peas. So again, I have more of those started inside. I filled up my herb bed here, my herb turtle, and it's got chamomile. It's these frilly ones. That is rosemary there, another chamomile. Back on the back is oregano, sage in the middle, another chamomile, and then this is thyme. And then this pink pool, it had these three bigger plants in the front, my strawberries that are left over from last year. And they're just a regular strawberry get from Walmart. Let's see, Ozark Beauty strawberries. And then these newer plants back in the back are the ones I grew from seed. They're Alexandria strawberries. So we'll see how those do. Plants of varying sizes, but they seem to be doing pretty good. So garlic is looking good. Black bags back there have potato starts in them, but they have not come up yet. And then my tulips have bloomed. They're looking pretty. And I've got the iris leaves have started coming on back there, but it's a while before they'll flower. This part makes me a little sad because my beautiful large hyacinths came up and immediately had a huge rainstorm and they fell over. And once they fall over, there's about nothing to do to get them to stand back up. However, they also attract ants once they fall over, so then you don't want to cut them and bring them inside. So I'm living in denial right now. I really wish they would stand back up, but they're not going to. And I just noticed that my hostas are getting ready to come back up. So that's good. This is the first year I've had hostas over winter, and so I see 3 plants that are coming back to life, but I had 6. Oh, no, there's the 4th one. There's one right there popping up. So hopefully all 6 of them will come back and this bed will fill in. I kind of went over this earlier, but I've moved them since then. So my transplanted little lettuce tray has perked up and is looking really good. And I handed off the seedlings I needed to hand off today. So tray's a little less full than it was, but plus I planted out my herbs and strawberries. So green stalk, still have not planted anything new since last time, but the lettuces in it are doing really well, and I will be transplanting some tiny tomatoes very soon. I'll see if I can find that pot for you. These tomatoes are called Tiny Tim, and they only get to be about 6 inches tall total. So I'm going to put them in the top row of the green stalk, and those should be really cute little cherry tomatoes. They're made for containers. So pepper plants back there, and over here doing really well, enjoying the warmth of today. It's going to be up in the 80s, so it's moving along. Tomatoes are probably going to go out this weekend in hopes that we don't get down below 40 after that. It's looking good, looking promising. So hopefully we'll get those tomatoes out soon.